My name is David Wood, and today I'm going to be talking about a heated issue, especially in California, which is the legalization of marijuana. I would like to play you a clip. It's called Reefer Madness. It's a part of yellow journalism from the 1936, about the same time when they passed a law that made weed illegal. He was just smoking and now he's going crazy.
The next tragedy may be that of your daughter.
Yep. Could be your daughter who's doing that from smoking marijuana, huh? Well, that's at least what they thought back then. This might seem all too silly to us nowadays, that one might become homicidal or suicidal or just plain out crazy from smoking weed, but back then they pretty much bought that from the government and they ate it up like it was the best thing ever, and they said, ooh, weed's bad. Next thing you know, it's illegal. Well, this is relevant to you guys because you guys can change the law about this, which you may or may not want to do after my presentation. My credibility, well, I guess it's because I use marijuana quite frequently, I may add, and I enjoy it very much, and I wonder, how does it compare when it's up against other things such as alcohol or tobacco, or even legal pharmaceuticals? Well, what I believe is that marijuana should be legalized. Yes, it should. Okay. So, the history of marijuana, in all of its illegality, it's always been for the wrong reason. As you can see, this is pretty much the reason why America said weed is bad, because of the stuff they were fed from the government. But it's kind of funny when you think about that in 1619, the first place ever they had farmers, and they were saying, you have to grow this stuff, you have to grow wheat, or if not, there's going to be repercussions. Back then, they thought it was a great thing. That's why they ordered farmers to do it. That was the first place in many other cases where people were ordered to grow wheat. But why did this change to this certain thing, you have to ask? It's due to a couple of different reasons. First, the influx of Mexican immigrants in the 1900s. There's a lot of Mexicans coming over, and they used to bring their mota with them, or their marijuana, they used to call it, you know, or not marijuana. They say marijuana, or however they say it, you know, but we call it marijuana, because they brought it over, and that's what we took from them. But anyway, so we say, well, we make their weed illegal, what they bring with them, then we can stop the influx of Mexican immigrants. And I guess it actually worked. Another reason they wanted to do that is because weed does not make you like they seem in this video. It doesn't make you crazy, it doesn't make you violent. In fact, it turns people into pacifists. When you smoke weed, things like war and things like World War II and World War I may not seem like the best thing to be doing. Therefore, that's another reason why the country would want to keep the people from smoking weed, so they're more involved in political agendas. Well, how does this problem affect us? It affects all of us. Society, the individual, the user, the non-user. The user, for one, they go to jail, and guess what happens when they go to jail? 750,000 people a year go to jail for smoking weed. And then they have to do bad things in jail so they can survive, so they can get out alive, so they can be rehabilitated. Some rehabilitation, right? It's crazy that also non-users are affected. Think about all the money as taxpayers have to pay to all these people that are in jail. It's not a good thing. And also, the gateway drug theory. I have a quote here, go to the next page, where it says, sorry, this is the wrong copy, I don't have that. But anyways, it says that weed is a gateway drug and has no medicinal value. But as you can see, there are people that obviously think that weed has medicinal value. As most of the West Coast has medicinal marijuana laws, a lot of the East Coast is starting to have pending medicinal marijuana laws. And there's just a few people who say, well, we're not so sure if marijuana is a great thing. Probably because there's still disillusion from these illegitimate claims that marijuana does these crazy things to you. Well, the cause of this problem is that marijuana is not patentable like pharmaceuticals, and also that The government only wants things that can be patented, like pharmaceuticals and cigarettes, because they're not simply grown out of the ground. One won't be able to get his migraine medicine from his backyard. Instead, they have to go take a pill. A pill, which they say, if you take too much of it, or even in some rare cases, may cause etc. and death, leading up to death. But weed, has weed ever killed anyone? No. In fact, it'd be impossible, virtually impossible, to smoke as much weed as it would take to kill you. You would have to smoke 20,000 joints in a single session, in a single sit-down. I dare anyone here to try that. Not fall asleep after about, like, what, 10? Max, I don't even know, that's crazy. That's a lot of marijuana. But, now that you know how marijuana was first ordered to be grown and then made legal for illegitimate reasons, I will tell you why they're doing this. They're doing this because the Mexican influx and the law that they passed, and also they found out that, well, we're sending people to jail for over 75 years, and we're going to win this drug war eventually. But the whole thing is they're not winning the drug war at all, because more users continue to grow, as does more marijuana fields. The solution is to legalize it. If we were to legalize it, we could collect a bunch of money from the taxes instead of sending our money out of the country to other black market systems and just losing our capital. We could have that make us grow and get us out of this debt that we're in. Also, instead of sending 100,000 people to jail a year in America, we could keep those people out of jail and keep them out of this flawed system that we have of rehabilitation. Not to mention the gateway drug theory would be abolished virtually because they would get it from a store like alcohol, 21 plus, and therefore they wouldn't be solicited every time they go to buy weed. Hey, you want to try this? You want to try this? Well, I don't got weed this time. Can I try some of that? I guess I'll try it. You know, it's not going to be like that. Some say that the legalization of marijuana might cause kids to have more access to it, which is ridiculous because if you're getting carded at a store and you lose your potential to buy marijuana because a kid wants to use it, you're not going to buy the marijuana for the kid, but a dealer, on the other hand, will not card him. He doesn't care if he's 5. He'll sell him whatever drugs he can. In conclusion, the government has lied to us about the dangers of marijuana and the effects ever since yellow journalism. Back then we would take anything from the government as true, but now we're a little smarter and we don't just get spoon-fed information that's propagated and believe it. I request that as an audience, we do something about this hypocrisy. Because alcohol and cigarettes, they kill over 500,000 people a year. And that's for people who want to use it recreationally. There's already medicinal use, but I think that it should be completely legalized, as it's not a harmful substance. And it's up to us to stop believing the propagated lies used to elicit illegitimate laws and start spreading the truth about marijuana, and learn the hypocrisies between the legalization of marijuana and also other legal pharmaceuticals. Because they want to take marijuana and mimic it and synthesize it into a pill. They already have tried it, Marinol. But obviously, these patients don't like that because that's why they have to get the marijuana card so they can use real marijuana. This information of reefer madness will remain embedded with us until the day of its legalization, and it's up to us to change how we feel about it. Thank you guys very much.